I'm very pleased to welcome you on our roundtable about Turn to the East, interregional development of the relations between regions of China and the Republic of Bashkortostan. Currently, we have our guests, a delegation from PRC, official delegation from Gansu province, and the Mr. Zhao Zun, Deputy Director of Foreign Affairs, Office of the People's Government of Gansu Province, Li Linfan, Director of Foreign Affairs, Office of Xinjiang Municipal Government of Gansu, also a number of entrepreneurs. And earlier this morning, we had another delegation, several people, entrepreneurs from Guangdong province, and they will join us. Currently, Mr. Zhao is signing an agreement, protocol of intentions between the Republic of Bashkortostan and Gansu province. First of all, I would like to introduce some of our today's speakers, and in the process, I will introduce other speakers as well. Kalimulin Diaz. He is the founder and owner of ENG company, which works with the Republic of Bashkortostan very actively. Also, later on, Demchenko Natalia will join us later. She is board member of the Business Russia. She came from Moscow. Also, Kan Hai, an interpreter. CEO of the UJ Shui group of companies. Also, I see some representatives of our companies, Krasny Kluch representatives, and also more representatives from Resa company. We expect them later on. Dear colleagues, I suggest that we will have a free discussion. And just to begin with, I would like to tell you a few words about our cooperation with China. Currently, the Republic of Bashkortostan is actively working with many countries globally. We have 110 countries we have active relationship with, and of those countries, the top in terms of turnover trade is People's Republic of China, more than 24%. We have supplies from our republic, and we have supplies from China. We purchase some technologies. Some technologies we do sell. Also, we have aviation engines from our side. From China, we purchase products, tools, machine tools. We also supply as agricultural products. The work is very active. In order to facilitate this work, we have created the representative office of Bashkortostan Republic in Trade Mission of Russia in PRC. Currently, officially, only 3 regions are represented in China: Sakha-Yakutia, Republic of Bashkortostan. We all work as part of the embassy and in trade mission in PRC. Some pleasing moments of all the regions. Bashkortostan is distinguished. Our colleagues from Tatarstan and Sakha-Yakutia have only 1 representative, but we have 4 representatives of Bashkortostan, including myself, and 2 other people, our staff, they are also visiting this Trans-Urals Forum. We work in the territory of the embassy in Beijing, but it's difficult for visitors to access them because there are some strict measures, security measures. But in the city, we can operate in more open regime. So it's very convenient for our Chinese colleagues and for us. They can come to us. And all of you who are interested in cooperation with China, please approach us. We will provide to you all the necessary support. Contact details you can get at the Ministry of Foreign uh, uh, economic relations, and they will give you our contacts. It's better to contact us via emails because there are some difficulties with telephone negotiations by telephone between Russia and China, and we support our entrepreneurs in working with China. We promote export from our republic. We also help localize in Chinese companies in the Republic of Bashkortostan. So we create some kind of a bridge between Russia, between the Republic of Bashkortostan and China. Regarding our tools, we have access to uh, databases on to check the partners. So if you make an inquiry, we can provide you some reference. Also, we have our own know-how. This is information database which contains about 6,000 companies, both Russian and Chinese, and all people who approach us, they automatically get into this database, and it operates as a search engine like Google or Baidu in China. When you open some digital product, you see this search tab and you type in what some good or service you are interested in or name of the company, and immediately you see the list of companies that either offer these products like grains or cement, some machine tools, CNC machines. They either purchase or buy or sell. So there are special tags: buyer, seller, or manufacturer. And now we are working on this information database, and I haven't seen similar as efficient database in China. It will be totally free for our entrepreneurs. And next time when somebody approaches us, makes contacts us by phone, for example, someone says, "I want to sell honey or meat, beef, or
Будем
we can enter this tag beef into our database. We can check the uh, um, buy, and we see 10 to 15 Chinese companies with whom we have already had interactions and who are interested in buying honey or beef, and we can just make contacts between our entrepreneurs and Chinese companies. So we will create some kind of a bridge. And also, we would also like that our entrepreneurs from the Republic of Bashkortostan had messengers and other communication means that are popular in China, such as WeChat. Uh, Initially, your cooperation might be without translation because WeChat is really easy to translate between Russian and China. And for the initial phase, you can do without translation. And later on, you will need translation. Among other commercial services that we offer, we can help you find a partner or to search for partners. You can choose those who you want to work with, but we can offer you a list of potential partners, 10 or 20 companies and we can check those companies. Also, there is another wonderful function for our entrepreneurs. If you go to Beijing, you can use our office for holding negotiations. We always are very pleased to welcome our entrepreneurs in China because sometimes we do miss our Bashkir faces and Russian language. So we welcome you to encourage you to come to Beijing, and we will do our best to help you. Starting our today's discussion, if we talk about the benefits, the advantages and disadvantages, about achievements and problems in cooperation between Russia and China, I would be very brief. The first advantage is that our relationship between Russia and China. Quite recently, there was governmental visit of President Vladimir Putin to China, I and some of my colleagues had opportunity to to be present at this meeting with the president of the Russian Federation at the opening ceremony of this forum in Harbin. There was our delegation headed by Prime Minister of the Republic of Bashkortostan. This was 100 people were in this delegation, and we were very warmly greeted there, and we have good, warm relationship between our countries. It really facilitates our work. Also, another thing that really helps us is this friendly attitudes from Chinese entrepreneurs. In some regions, there are lots of entrepreneurs speaking Russian, especially in the north and east of China, Liaoning province, and in Beijing and other provinces. In Beijing, some older people do speak Russian, and it facilitates communication and making contacts. Regarding some disadvantages or some problems currently, the problem of settlement payments over the last month. Unfortunately, those Chinese banks that were working with us successfully are currently rejecting these payments. It's no secret. Some states of the world to achieve their strategic goals and based on their interests are making some imposing some sanctions that may affect the operation of Chinese banks. And I think that Chinese banks may be fearful of some sanctions, and sometimes they prefer not to work with Russia. This makes the situation more difficult. But since we do have some significant problems, I think that we will find solution in the nearest future. We have good communications, Guanxin in Chinese, partners, and they offer various opportunities, private or state-owned banks, and they have some proposals. If you have some problems of this kind, you can approach us and we can do it in manual regime. In general, business can always handle its issues. The more obstacles, the more impediments we have, the more money we can generate, and business always is able to overcome problems. We work to generate income. We work for the benefit of Russia, for the benefit of Bashkortostan. Therefore, our main task is to help our businessmen. And I want to give floor to Kalimullin Gias, one of our speakers. Maybe he would maybe he has no problems, unlike I mentioned some problems, but if he has no problems, we can learn from him how to work with China. Good day, dear colleagues. A few words about myself, about my company. We have been working with China since 2010, and both export and imports. We are specializing in equipment supplies, extruders, thermoplasts, and pouring equipment. For example, we check equipment. We provide testing. We provide logistics up to 20 containers. For example, for customs clearance. Our customs office like to separate those containers, but we work with that. Also, we provide some warehouse services, certification services, both in Russia and in the territory of China. We are accredited supplier of many leasing companies, and also we are reliable supplier for the regional leasing foundation for entrepreneurs. Also, we currently regularly take part in various exhibitions in Russia and in China, in Canton Fair, trade fair is the biggest one. It is global. We have 3 offices in Russia, in Ufa, in Kazan, and in Moscow. Also, we have warehouses both in Russia and in China. It allows us to provide better quality services of logistics services globally. But our major line of activity is China. Also, we have another major advantage. We work with public-owned transport companies. They provide subsidies for transportation from Russia and from China. In 2023, in autumn, we had business mission headed by Andrei Nazarov, and we signed an agreement on representative office of Shandong Tanzan Company in Ufa. They opened their representative office in Ufa. They provide thermoplast, automats, extruders for plastic materials, for plastic products, telephones, everything that is provided from plastic is manufactured from plastic. Their equipment can be used for that. Also, earlier this year in Harbin, in Shenyang, when we had business mission supported by Andrei and Mr. Alexander Shildyaev, we had negotiations with Shandong Tanzan Chinese plant, and we signed an agreement on construction of a plant in our republic on manufacturing of this equipment. This equipment has never previously been produced in Russia. We always imported it from Europe, from China, from Japan, from Korea, and now these design and engineering design works will start this year. So over these 14 years, we have made huge work in various lines of activities, and we have vast experience in terms of logistics, payments, the selection of equipment, culture of negotiations with Chinese partners. It's very distinct from our Russian business etiquette, and we can consult you on that, how to hold negotiations for successful deals. Also, I recommend all the businesses to take part in business missions because they do work, they have real effect, there are high-quality businessmen who are seeking business partners in Russia. If you have any questions with China, we can provide you counseling, any aspects of cooperation with Chinese business.
So I would like to put on a small presentation video. Can I ask someone, please put on this video? So we participated in exhibitions. We participated in Moscow exhibition, the presentation of the Tanzia factory. We signed the agreement last year, and these are the negotiations this year. So this is the blowing machine, up to 5 liters. It ejects up to 200 grams. It can produce up to 6 canisters at the same time. So enormous opportunities to produce furniture, and with tanks up to 10,000 liters capacity, plastic trays, fully automated system. Production of barrels.
потенциала Республики Башкортостан.
So to improve the investment potential of Bashkortostan, we persuaded the representatives of Bashkortostan to place an order for the production of these barrels at this factory. These are our contacts. Please call, apply. Thank you. Yes, manage. So let's follow this procedure. Those who have ideas or opinions, who wants to speak, or if you have any questions, we can answer any of your questions, that's for sure. Dear colleagues, there are no questions. Kankai is on his way. And director from the Tinguan company. So we'll listen to them. Speaking about the cooperation with China, the previous speaker was right to say that last year we had several business missions. We had special business missions dedicated to the agriculture. 12 entrepreneurs went with the Minister of Agriculture to visit this exhibition. On the 6th of November last year, there was an official business delegation directed by the Prime Minister. 120 people went there. We participated in certain events in Shanghai, in Nanchang. And this year, we had a business mission, and we had a visit of official delegation from 14th of May in two cities, the city of Xinjiang and the city of Harbin of the Heilongjiang province. In both cities, we had the meetings with the governors of these provinces, with the mayors of the capitals, and we participated in the Expo exhibition. We had our own stand at this exhibition with the products from Bashkortostan. Also, the president of the Russian Federation visited our stand, and at our stand, we had the aircraft engines of UNPO supplied to China, and also the engine from the group of companies headed by Taiken, and preliminary agreements about investments were signed with them. These investments are of $750 million US dollars. They plan to build a factory to produce automotors. And ideal because of the surface and the capacities of electric energy. We had another project in the agricultural field, the processing of the beef bones. The Chinese investor planned to build such a factory. The Chinese, they have very correct approach. Their production, there's no waste. They transform everything they can about the bones, and they make the raw materials, pectin, and they plan to export it to China. There's another project of the construction of the meat processing factories, because quite often Chinese delegation, Chinese entrepreneurs come to Russia, come to us with an application and with a wish to buy meat, beef. Unfortunately, we do not have a spare resources for these supplies. All our meat processing factories have enough contracts, and the Minister of Agriculture of Bashkortostan made a proposal for the foreign investors, including the Chinese investors, to organize the feedlots, the special areas to feed livestock, where Chinese entrepreneurs can come with their investments to organize meat processing factories, to buy baby beefs, to grow them, and if it's profitable, they can export it to the People's Republic of China. So we have projects, some of them are nearly done, and in the industrial field, it's the construction of the cement factory. There is a businessman that who has 3 factories in China, and the 4th factory he wants to build in Bashkortostan, and this project is nearly completed, and this summer he wants to come to Bashkortostan to participate in an event like the investment hour that we had this morning. And if everything goes well, Mr. Kwan, this is his name, he'll invest the amount about 5 billion renminbi in the construction of the cement factory. When he came to Ufar, he saw a lot of buildings built with his materials, in spite of the fact that he hasn't sold these materials to Bashkortostan. But when we organized the meeting of him with the Association of Constructors of the Republic of Bashkortostan, and when he heard from our constructors that these products are in need here, so he was even more inspired to start his production in the Republic of Bashkortostan. For the entrepreneurs from various countries, including China, they have all the benefits, all the privileges. They have a special zone Alga, where the business people have benefits in terms of the tax benefits and property tax, profit tax. They have beneficial positions for renting land plots, and as soon as they register their facilities, within a year or a year and a half, they got a land plot with a advantageous price, about 25% of its cost, according to cadastre. And speaking about the Chinese business people, they measure everything not in hectares but in mu. 1 mu costs 45,000 yuan in the free market, but going through Alga, 1 mu can be bought for 1,000 yuan, so it's 40 times cheaper than in China, and they can use the rent. The rent is not very expensive, so we support all these investment projects. Yes, there are problems in implementation of these projects. The foreign investors, quite often, they want only their employees to work at the invested facilities. But we suggest, and it's the requirement of the legislation, that a certain percentage of foreign labor only can be used, so we can also use our employment problems. Thus, our work is aimed at attracting investors, and we take care of these investors so they could invest money also in their business. And so if they have their business here, they'll pay taxes here, and there will be additional jobs for local people.
У нас сегодня были
So we had B2B negotiations today with some companies that came from China, and one of the representatives, he deals with growing mushrooms. It's one of the biggest Chinese companies that grows shiitake mushrooms. It is very in demand. China, and now he is looking for a partner in Russia to build a factory in Bashkortostan. Why in Bashkortostan? Because in this republic, he knows this republic. It has a huge investment potential, and for all the local partners, the investments in Bashkortostan are protected. How much money do you need?
ему нужно
Does he need? He needs 10 hectares of land at least, and he provides the materials. He needs a connection to heating system and gas. During 4 months, it's the period of the mushroom maturation. At 4 months, it's the season for the mushroom. It's a closed cycle system. So it's they have these special ready-made tubes with mushroom seeds. Then the representatives of the company, his name is Gin Sandun, he grows apples. And he is also looking for a partner with whom who could supply apples. The high-quality apples are very popular in China, and we agreed that I can provide logistic services to him. And so I spoke to our buyers in the territory of Bashkortostan to try to organize such so that we bring 2 refrigerators, 2 trucks. So we had these fresh Chinese apples in our stores. I would like to add also concerning the mushrooms, quite often I meet the entrepreneurs that deal with mushrooms. It is not very popular in Russia, but it is very popular in China. So we need to simulate this new kind of business. I would like to say a few words about the options of interactions with Chinese investors and Russian entrepreneurs. If we simplify the situation for a Chinese entrepreneur, there can be 4 variants of interaction with Russia. The first variant, when he is located in China and sells his goods to Russia. The second variant is that he has found representatives in Russia, either an individual or a legal entity. Then the third variant is the Chinese businessman and found the company in Russia. The director of this company can be a Chinese person or a Russian person. There's no difference. And this fourth variant, when the Chinese businessman opens a factory, a plant, so the localization of the productions. So these 4 variants, what are the pluses and minuses? The first variant, when the Chinese businessman sells his goods from abroad, so in Russia, these goods are made in China, and only a limited number of consumers can buy these. For example, a state corporation will never buy these goods because for a state corporation, the certification is needed, and for each state corporation, there's own rules for getting this certification. And then when I, as a Russian business people, buy goods from abroad, there are problems with logistics, there are problems with warranty. It's very very complicated. If I buy a tractor abroad, there's a time for delivery. I'll pay with it. If I take a credit, it is very difficult to take a credit to buy goods from abroad. Leasing is also impossible. The warranty will also have problems, and my money will be frozen for a certain period of time during the custom clearance. Then when the Chinese business people have a company in Russia, it's much easier. This company can solve problems with payments. If the Chinese company here has its resources, we can enable the set-off process. There are other issues related to marketing, to supplies, to warranty. If the Chinese businessman has a plant or a factory here in Russia, this is the perfect variant for business, but it's the most complicated and the most difficult. Then he can assemble his products or provide services. If the tractor is assembled in the territory of Russia and the level of localization is maintained, it should be like 60% of all the parts should be Russian. But in this case, the tractor will be made in Russia, and a farmer will buy this tractor for not such a high prices, because there'll be a lot of programs to stimulate these purchases from the Ministry of Agriculture, from other organizations, and there is the very small first down payment, and the enterprise that assembles this will have a lot of support programs from the government of the Russian Federation for a certain program in agricultural sector, from the government of Bashkortostan, from the local municipality. He also had support, and that is why it is more profitable that our entrepreneur buys Chinese products assembled in Russia and under the trademark made in Russia. It's the most complicated variant, but it is the most interesting for us. And if the Chinese businessman decides that the Russian market is interesting for him, we need to use this option. But I also was, for a quite a long time, I was a businessman, entrepreneur, and if someone is a businessman, it will never die in him. You cannot force someone to use this or that variant if he doesn't see any direct profit. Certainly, Chinese entrepreneurs need to understand that if the program, product is made in Russia.
Давайте мы сначала.
Well, let's first try selling things. Okay, great. We can always assist you with that. I personally recommend to Chinese entrepreneurs to start selling their products and then conduct marketing research to look at the competitors, at the pricing level of analogous products here in Russia, what are the competitors, and after those initial research, they can start looking for representative. We constantly, Chinese companies constantly contact us, and those companies that attend our events and Chinese delegations and even members of this delegation, they always ask us about representatives. They always say they need representatives, and we are ready to make contacts between our entrepreneurs and Chinese interpreters so that our task is to make business work and develop. But at some events, I see that our entrepreneurs get very enthusiastic and they say, okay, I'm going to be a representative. And then I ask, what line of activity? He says, I'm going to be representative for all lines of activities. But if one is dealing with grain, but another one is dealing with something else, and for example, chemistry products, these things do not work this way. You like Russian entrepreneurs, Chinese entrepreneurs, they are very smart. They know how to earn money, and you can't simply become a representative and earn lots of money and do nothing. It doesn't work that way. These representatives, someone from you maybe who is willing to interact with China, the first requirement is a specialization, experience, financial assets, so that you could work for a while without settled payments, and some purely technical things. If you speak Chinese, it would be marvelous. At least you have to have a phone number for a Chinese interpreter. You also should have WeChat, because we constantly have some communication problems. And if anyone is willing to make contacts to become a representative or become a representative company, please contact us. We will help you find good options, and we can arrange their business mission to Russia, or we can see you in our office and we can organize a meeting in our office in Beijing. Are there any other questions regarding our activities? A few words, if you let me. I am Sergei Malukov, founder of Bashkir Honey Farms. We are the major honey producer. I'm champion of the world in terms of honey production. Between 2014 and 18, we were supplying honey to China, but in 2017 we had attack. The first attack was repelled, but unfortunately, such brands as Bashkir Honey and Bashkir Honey Farms in the territory of China are not owned by us. Some Chinese citizens, they registered those trademarks for themselves. And last year, there was large delegation from China and the representative of Communist Party of China, and I asked him about it, and he told me that China is becoming part of this unified patent system in the world, and the situation is going to change, and the real patent owners will be able to get back their brands. And our business mission in China, in Harbin, if I understand that I cannot show all my developments because we have huge demand for our developments. We have lots of people willing to buy it, but I cannot show everything in. For example, we have brand devoted to Vladimir Lenin. The demand is unique, the demand is very big, but how to work is so that not to have problems once again with PRC. Yes, this is really pressing issue regarding patent ownership, patent issues. And Bashkir honey farms, Bashkirskie pasiki, the head of the Chancellery of Foreign Affairs contacted me and sent photos of your honey and told me we want to find them very urgently because there is one big company wanting to work with them. I do know that the problem still exists. Currently, Chinese authorities are trying to settle these issues with trademarks in the consumer market. Because earlier you could see Adidas, Louis Vuitton everywhere. Now they have fines and some tough measures implemented, but patents on some trademarks in consumer market, like you mentioned, your problem. These issues are in Russia as well. Some people buy and register, and they start blackmailing, requiring try to extort money, but Chinese authorities declare that they are trying to solve this issue, and then things are gonna change. But at some point, if someone has already registered your trademark, this is a legal issue. You have to prove your ownership, your right in Chinese court. I always tell to my colleagues, if you are visiting China for the first time, don't display your products immediately on the shelves. You have to apply for registration first. Lots of smart businessmen among us here in Russia, and lots of smart and sly businessmen in China. If something is not forbidden by law, it is allowed. If someone saw some beautiful trademark, they make an inquiry, they find out that this trademark is not registered, and they readily make this registration, and no problems in their country. Well, you have to be cautious, especially if you are entrepreneur and you brought something to a trade fair and without making application, after a while you can learn that your product has already been patented by someone else. So, for example, someone got your product in China, someone liked it, and when some businessmen try to enter the Chinese market, they find out that the trademark is already registered. Well, you only have to apply to court to prove your right. I can't give you the percentage right now about the decisions, whether they are positive or negative for us. But I can tell you that in Chinese courts, Russian entrepreneurs find it more difficult to prove their right compared to Chinese entrepreneurs. But the same situation is true in Russia. Chinese entrepreneurs, it's more difficult for them to prove their right in Russian court. So citizens of their countries, they are more savvy in legal issues. Therefore, those of you who have some trademarks, you have to be professionally prepared. You have to apply for registration. And those who have already lost your trademarks, you have to apply to embassies, to contact embassies, trade missions. Otherwise, it will not be a decisive moment in court, but court always takes into consideration the various applications from governmental agencies and authorities. I know that some companies slightly change their trademark and re-register it, but those guys who registered your trademark, they cannot get anything from your trademark, and they cannot generate any benefit from you because they are waiting until your products start to appear, or they can start trying selling your products with another label. If you are not entering their market, they cannot generate income from your trademark. For example, if you do not enter, they cannot generate income. So you have to apply to a court to prove your right and then enter the market. This is the only way right now. Are there any other questions? Sergey, we have Tansu here. Probably you're not acquainted. He's interested in honey, and if you have some samples, he can take those, but without trademark. So just to make some lab tests, and after that he is ready to purchase your products. So so this is the third person. Dear colleagues, I'd like also to give the floor to our Chinese delegation members.
Water.
Dayu Water Construction Group, CEO of Dayu Zheshu Group of Companies, Shanghai. Please, the floor is yours.
总理的主席先生您好，非常高。
Dear Chairperson, dear colleagues, hello. I'm very pleased to be here to be part of this event, and I will briefly tell you about our situation. As already been mentioned, I represent Taiyuan Shui Company, and we were founded in 1996.
证交所创业板上市，公司总部
In 2009, we
3000多人。
We started working all over China, and currently our headquarters is in Beijing. We are working in agricultural sector. We deal with safe food issues, and we solve all the concomitant issues. We provide research in terms of technologies for agricultural sector related to proper use of water resources, of all the supplied resources, and we provide a full supply chain, manufacturing chain from technology to management of resources in agricultural sector. And in China, we are considered to be a major company, and we are one of the 5 largest companies in this sector in the area of irrigation. We use high-tech technologies to achieve these goals. In particular, we are one of the officially authorized companies. We are authorized by government in the area of irrigations, and we are award-winning company in this field. Also, we have to tell that I can tell you that China is actively working on creation of various projects and Ministry of Water Resources and some other ministries and agencies that we closely work on a number of irrigation projects in China. And our group of companies, it is also represented in South and East China, part of China. We have developed a project for this province in 2022, irrigation. This is irrigation project, and in August 2022, we were included into the registry of
大禹节水集团积极响应国家
on agricultural development promotion. And shortly after that, we got necessary funding for these projects. We constantly look for new options, new forms of cooperation, interactions to optimize the projects, agricultural projects, primarily related to irrigation. And our task is to promote high-tech agricultural sector in China. Currently, our company, our products and our services that we offer, we work with a number of countries, including African countries, Southeast countries, totally over 60 countries in various regions of the world. Regarding our group of companies, at this moment, in Eurasian Union, we have our headquarters in Almaty in Kazakhstan. And our company is ready to interact with our Russian counterparts in terms of irrigation and water supply in agricultural sector, and we are prepared to contribute and to show you all our benefits for mutual cooperation, and we are ready to contribute and share our experience and technologies for the development of Russian agricultural sector. And of course, we understand that this is a long path, and we are ready for this long-term cooperation. Also, we hope that those attending this meeting will have the opportunity to visit our headquarters in Beijing, and we will be able to tell you in greater detail about our work. Thank you. Dear colleagues, I also would like to introduce our speaker from Russia, Demchenko Natalia. She is a representative of the Moscow Business Russia. She is well-known person in our world of entrepreneurs. Natalia always has something to say about our relations with People's Republic of China. Natalia also represents Charity Foundation World for Children and legal company, audit company, and aerospace and innovative Valley, and is advisor to the CEO of this state corporation.
Hello, dear friends. Hello, our dear friends and colleagues from China. Thank you very much for the floor you have given to me. So I represent also the Business Russia, and as a member of Business Russia Council Moscow regional office, I would like to tackle the subject of our Russian-Chinese relationship. I participated in the work of delegations that visited Chinese Republic. I was struck with the level of hospitality and level of preparation of the trade and economic relations because we signed a lot of agreements there, so the work was quite active. Our business people started cooperating actively with China. I would like to emphasize that during the visit of our Prime Minister, Mr. Mishustin, and Vladimir Putin last and this year, underlined one more time that the level of our interaction with China is extremely high. Our relationship is being developed in a very dynamic way. Our trade turnover surpassed the turnover of previous years. Our cooperation concerns the hydrogen trace, the development of automotive industry, development of international relationship. China is the main supplier for us of the cars and vehicles in Russia. The market is more or less saturated. I visited Chinese vehicles myself, and I was really satisfied. And my colleagues, they prefer Chinese cars to European cars, and it's very important the relationships between Russia and China determines the policy of the both country and situation in the Eurasian continent. And the Russian-Chinese cooperation right now is equal to none there. And together with this, Russia and China strengthen their positions in the world and their influence on the regional and world level. Our countries follow independent policy and develop their cooperation in the field of the power supply as well. We also cooperate in the sphere of taxes and legal issues. Quite often we meet the delegations from China in Moscow, and I would like to focus on the sphere of implementation. Moscow, there's no problems, but the other regions, they need to build hotels, open eco hotels, build restaurants so that more and more business people from China come to see us to the regions. What also is lacking, so analyzed necessary to create joint ventures in the territory of the Russian Federation, because the entrepreneurs from China prefer opening representation bureaus or their own legal entity. So I would like to invite our Chinese colleagues to open joint ventures, because we have an experience in legal issues and representation in courts. We know our legislation very well, and we can share this knowledge with our partners from China. I would like that more and more Chinese delegations come in the territory of the Russian Federation. We are always ready to meet you, to show the facilities attractive from the point of view of investment. So I will not, I'll be brief. I am glad to see all of you here, and I expect that we'll have a long-term cooperation. Natalia, thank you very much. It was really great to hear your words that our cooperation is being developed and that you invite Chinese people to come to Russia, and we'll go to China as well. And I would like to give the floor. We have part of the delegation from China came only this morning. This is the delegation from the province Guangdong. There is such a province in China. And I would like to say that according to the regional gross product, the province Guangdong is close to the gross product of the Russian Federation. This province is very rich. And the city of Guangzhou is located there. That's the southern part of China. It's very economically developed parts of China. And so today we have a delegation from this part of China, and our good friend Mrs. Chen directs this work of the delegations. She deals with many questions, for example, the supply of flowers. One or 2 days later, these flowers are delivered to Moscow, and according to the amount of flowers delivered to Russia, she ranks second or maybe third. She also has factories for the production of terminals that are used for public transport and metro, in social facilities, hospitals and banks, for example. So when you come and there is an electronic queue, you can use this terminal and to get the special tickets. And I know she has a lot of other interests and many investments in different fields. For us, it's maybe really surprising that it's normal for China that people invest money in various areas, so that if I'm mistaken, Mrs. Chen will correct me, but I'll prefer to give the floor to her. Madame, Monsieur, dear heads, I've seen many Chinese entrepreneurs here. I'm from the city of Shenzhen, from the province Guangdong. My enterprise mainly deals with artificial intelligence issues, the software issues. If we speak about the enterprises that are present here, it's a bit an abstract sphere. About 29 years ago, I dealt with the production of ATMs and the systems of payment. And we also now we deal with the development of robots to replace certain people in hotels. We also automate the process of buying tickets and the production of different kinds of equipment for the information supply with many partners. I've been cooperating for 29 years, and since 2016, I've started to become part of the system of tourism, buying tickets, ordering hotels. We also do all this using our systems and equipment. I visited Russia many times, but this is my first visit to Bashkiria, and I feel a very warm attitude. I could not imagine that it's such a multinational, such a hospitable country, and it has such a republic. And really, it has a huge potential in the field of tourism. Yes, I cooperated with my Russian colleagues that dealt with the supply programs, but now I see that besides the development of high-tech products, I've just spoken with a girl that today we have such a wonderful holiday. Can we, for example, with my city is also a multinational city. Can we start economic cooperation with it? We can finance jointly Sabantuis. When we invest, it will be organized on the mutually beneficial basis. We have events around the 1st of May. These are the events dedicated to live flowers. Here I could see a lot of products that we lack in the Chinese market. For example, the honey, the herbal teas. It resembles herbal teas in China, but at the same time it is different. Here we have a variety of these herbal teas. This time when I came, I really... This was the first time when I met my colleagues. Really, I was curious because I've been to Moscow many times. I had many issues of cooperations there concerning the production of high-capacity trucks. I've already said that I have different production chains, and these production chains have great advantages because we have the production concentrated in certain sites. That is why in the province Guangxi, so we about 5,000 vehicles from the province Guangxi was sold on the Russian market, but these are not also trucks, but also cars, which are built in big quantities in the Russian market. And this time, when he asked me to help him sell his vehicles in Bashkiria, I said that I will not promise to you. I will come to Bashkortostan myself. I'll see what kind of republic it is. We've just spoken about about the fresh flowers. I was the first to use refrigerators, special refrigerating installations to be able to bring these flowers to Moscow. It was used, so we started using it since the last year because everybody uses this aircraft, but this was the first time when using the refrigerating railway carriages, we started delivering these flowers to Moscow. And I think that we can find good opportunity. I'm happy to see such a warm welcome in Bashkiria, and we are ready to look for our representatives and the issue of flower delivery. That is why I can, and my native city in Shenzhen and in other places, to organize this productive cooperation between our countries, between our companies, creating new production chains, and we can implement, we can use our advantage, except for the projects I was talking about. I also discovered in Bashkiria those new things which can be exported from here to China. These are the agricultural products. These are different kinds of, when I saw also, I've seen in 106 countries, in various countries I was, but I've never seen such a place which could be, which conserved all its natural advantages with beautiful nature and beautiful opportunities to produce ecologically sound products, and expect that big Chinese companies they have certain doubts concerning their visit here. Any companies, any enterprises that we know that cooperate with us, we can thank you for your cooperation. You organized such a wonderful visit, because I thought before whether I needed to come or not, but now I'm really happy that I came, and thank you everybody. Thank you, Mrs. Chen, for such good words about the Republic of Bashkortostan. It was really good to hear it. And as the great philosopher from China, Lao Tzu, the longest road of 1,000 miles started from the first step, and I hope that we'll walk together to the mutual cooperation. I would like to give the floor to the representatives of another company, the general director of the company Dingguan Ecological Agriculture. Please, the floor is given to you, Mr. Ginke.
非常感谢
Thank you very much, dear chairperson, dear colleagues, and my colleagues from China attending this session. As already been mentioned, I'm from Shandong province, Weifan, city of Weifan. We are manufacturing the equipment. What I have to say.
甘肃省的青阳市花池县在当地做县当地的
Before we started working in Gansu province, before that we found that
纸的话，我们公
there is a range of products, for example, smelly mushroom, shiitake, and turnips, and the soil is so good to grow this kind of plants. and mushrooms. Currently, we have 22 land plots, manufacturing sites where we grow various agricultural products. We signed some time ago, we have signed a contract with some South Korean company for the value of $10,000. We have established schemes. We know how to establish agricultural manufacturing both within China and outside China with foreign partners. Therefore, when I got here, I could see that Bashkiria has wonderful conditions, wonderful soils, and beautiful blue sky, and it's also good to deploy our cooperation in agricultural sector. And some products are so delicious that we tested here. And it means that local agricultural sector has huge advantages. In particular, we tested one of the candy products. It is called Chak Chak, if I'm not mistaken. And I have to say that since we can find proper sites to grow sangu or shiitake mushrooms in China. We hope that we can establish good contacts with your agricultural companies. We can establish good partnership, and we are focused on we're interested in finding partners to work here in this beautiful region. So we could, for example, grow shiitake mushrooms. Regarding other range of products, this is quite wide range, including dried mushrooms, various additives that can be used for noodles, for biscuits. Also, we offer various fresh vegetables. And I think we have a great potential for interactions. And we do hope that with the help of the government of the Republic of Bashkortostan, we will be able to find good partners for us. Thanks again for your attention. Thank you, Mr. Ginke. Currently, I think we have had very fruitful discussion. Well, we outlined some problems. We didn't discuss them in depth. We didn't have in-depth discussion of those. Earlier today, we had B2B meetings for Chinese and Russian entrepreneurs. But judging from what our speakers said, speakers from Bashkortostan and speakers from the People's Republic of China, I think that after this roundtable, we can find some points of mutual interest. Today in the afternoon and tomorrow, we will have the Sabantu festivity, and then in informal atmosphere, we can have contacts, and I encourage everyone interested in cooperation with China, please contact me, and we can help you find contacts and connect you to potential partners so that you could achieve your results. Thank you for your participation for this live discussion. I'm sure that states cannot make friends as theoretical structures, but people can make friends. And here we saw each other face to face. We are establishing contacts, and through our efforts, our countries can make friends and cooperate for the benefits of Chinese people, of Russian people, and to our mutual cooperation. Thank you so much for your attention. And our colleagues from the Chinese delegation